Lads, welcome back to Fusion YGO. It's Patrick saying hey, and welcome to Budget Month. Yes, it's Budget Month. The entire month of March is dedicated to budget decks, budget options, and all culminating on the 31st. I don't know why I did it that way. On the 31st, though, we are releasing How to Yu-Gi-Oh! Budget Player's Guide. That video is in production. Actually, at the time of recording this, we are in the middle of doing shoots and takes and edits, and it's a lot of work. These videos take a long time to produce. I have been writing the script for this one since the last one came out, which I think was November, so it's been a little while. It's a very long, big script. It's good. It's full of good information. I want to make sure it's cohesive. So look forward to that. Don't forget, every 50 subscribers over 400, we'll be doing a giveaway. So let's hit that subscribe button and make me hurt in the wallet. But without further ado, let's get into what we're here to talk about. What is a fantastic budget deck? Well, first let's figure out what the budget is. Let's say 50 bucks. What can you do with $50? You have no cards, you have no Yu-Gi-Oh cards. You've never played this game before and you want to jump into it, but you only got 50 bucks to spend on the game. I have the deck for you. And it's a champion. It is a proven winner. It'll suplex your opponent into the ground, scorpion deathlocks and headbutts galore. What I'm talking about is, of course, Gouki, professional wrestler deck. And you can play this deck for under $50. At the time of recording this video, I priced the deck out at a little over $48, which is insane. And that's everything, main, extra, and side, the whole deck. It's about $48.75, $48.99, something like that. After shipping and everything, it'll be a little over $50, but overall, you're going to spend $50 on the cards themselves. If you can find a lot of the same vendors, you can save a lot of money. So, without anything else going into this, let's go and talk about Gouki. Let's go through the list, and I may even show you a combo or two. Let's get into it. Ready? Ring that bell. Gouki deck profile is starting now. Let's get into it. So, we're going to set this aside, we're going to move this up. Alright, so for Gouki, it is a 40 card list, and you can make a couple of substitutions between the main deck and the side deck, which I'll go over in a little bit. But first and foremost, you're going to start off with 3 copies of Goku Suprex. This is the most expensive Gouki card if you buy it. No matter how you buy it, it's about 80 cents a piece. But Goku Suprex will let you, on normal summon, it lets you special summon another Gouki monster from your hand. When they're all of the Gouki monsters we play, when they're sent to the graveyard, you get to search another Gouki card with a different name from your deck. Builds a lot of resources, recurs a lot of resources. It's just a really good strategy for that. You will almost always have recovery plays and be able to do stuff, but this deck's end goal is a little different. Next up is going to be 2 copies of Twist Cobra. Twist Cobra has the effect, obviously the secondary effect of being sent, but its primary effect is a quick effect. You can tribute a Gouki monster, and then target a Gouki monster you control, and it gains attack equal to the tributed monster's attack. So you can, if you have Twist Cobra already on the field, and you normal summon Suprex in like a weird game state, and they try to stop Gouki Suprex with like infinite impermanence, you can go, okay, Twist Cobra, tribute Suprex, the one you just summoned, because it was successfully summoned, and then boost Twist Cobra's attack, and you'll still get the search off and you'll get the summon, which actually has come up in some of the testing. It's a really weird instance, but it does happen. So that ability is actually incredibly versatile. You can also use it in the battle phase to be able to beat over somebody. Like I've used the Suprex with Twist Cobra through a domain lock, because you can't special summon from the extra deck at all. So what I was able to do was go, okay, Suprex, special Twist Cobra, beat over their tributed monster, and then just continue. 2 copies of Headbat. Headbat, you discard another Gouki. You target a Gouki on the field, you discard another Gouki from your hand, you special summon Headbat, and then it boosts it by 800. There's a lot of attack boosting. This deck is very combat oriented. And then obviously it has the secondary effect. But the ability to be able to do that is just really, really useful. Next up is going to be 2 copies of Gouki Guts. All the rest of these are pennies, just by the way. All the rest of the Gouki cards are pennies. They're very cheap. They're all less than 10 cents a piece, maybe 15 cents. So So Guts is there because it's a level 1 and it does the searching. That is it. Its other effect has never come up. And now for the most, when you're playing against Shaddolls, this is the most important one, is Rescorpio. As a normal summon, it can beat over Winda. And because it's a normal summonable monster, if you have no monsters, the only monsters you control are Gokis, both of which are things that happen, you were able to normal summon this card without tribute. Pretty nice. Gouki Iron Claw. It's just a level 2. It's if you open this, it's just another card to search off of his hold for Headbat. And then 1 Octastretch, which is another level 1. It's important to have the level 1s in the deck. And then rounding out the Gouki package is 2 copies of Gouki Rematch, which is Monster Reborn, but on drugs. This card just pulls everything out, all the stops. Depending on how the game is going, this card can just net you so much advantage, it's almost impossible to come back. And that does it for the Gouki package. Now on to the generic other cards, which is the whole rest of the deck. So we've got 1 Codebreaker 0 Day. 0 Day is part of the standard combo to get 2 of your big boy out. Next up is going to be 3 copies of Fire Flint Lady. Fire Flint Lady is an extender. If you control a warrior, you can special summon it. So if they imperm Suprex, for example, and you have Fire Flint Lady in hand, you just summon Fire Flint Lady, tribute itself, summon the other Gouki, and then just continue. Because you don't care. 3 copies of Junk Forward. It's a warrior extender. It gives you 2 warriors on field, which is the most important thing to starting this entire strategy off. And then to round out the monsters, I am running 3 Saravis. Gosh, I can't say that card's name. Saravis is to protect Isolde. Isolde is the most important card in this deck. It's the linchpin of Gouki. It's almost always been. So this card just protects that as a hand trap. And that does it for the monsters. All the monsters are now done. Let's go into our spells. Starting off with something that I'm going to get a lot of flame for, but this card is actually super useful in a budget list like this because of what you're trying to do. And that's going to be 2 copies of Mystic Mine. Mystic Mine can win you games. Straight up. Because you don't care. And you'll see why in a little bit. 1 copy of Reinforcements of the Army. Searches out everything. 1 copy of Hornet Drones because it gives you a free warrior. 1 copy of 1-for-1 because it helps you play if you only have like 2 Goukis and one of them isn't Suprex. So it gives you a way to play the game. 1 copy of Divine Sword Phoenix Blade and 1 copy of Living Fossil. I went with Living Fossil because it's cheap. And it's a Monster Reborn, so it gives you another way to play the game. If you open it, it's not a dead card in hand, which is the most important part of that. That does it for the spells. Now we're moving on to the part that makes this deck actually really dangerous in a competitive sense. That's going to be 2 copies of Different Dimension Ground. Different Dimension Ground makes this turn any monster that goes to the graveyard is banished instead. This can turn decks completely off and just give you a free chance to win. I thought that this card, I think this card is wildly underutilized in decks like this, where you just don't care. 3 copies of Needle Sealing. Needle Sealing, if there are 4 or more monsters on the field, you destroy all face-up monsters on the field. Trust me, this card is not negative in any which way, shape, or form with your deck. 3 copies of Torrential Tribute. This blows up every monster on the field. Again, it doesn't matter to your deck. And 1 copy of Skill Drain, because again, it doesn't matter to your deck. And that's it for the list. There's a lot of traps. This is a very budget list. The most expensive card in this whole deck is Skill Drain. You can get it for about $8. So, now let's move on to the extra deck, shall we? We've got 2 copies of Isolde, 2 Tales of the Noble Knights. Isolde is the most important card, obviously, for its free search, its free summon. Well, not free, but it's a really good summon from deck. 1 Jet Ogre and 1 Heal Ogre. I wanted to have these just in case Isolde gets hit with like cherries. I can still do the full combo with just the Gouki cards, which is actually insane. Then we've got 1 copy of Thunder Ogre, 1 copy of Blade Ogre. Blade Ogre is amazing going second. If you save your rematch, if you're able to get into Gouki the Blade Ogre going second, this card can win you games. because you could put it in a zone where a monster points to, like your opponent has. You can tribute their monster for him to attack twice. And then it gets the attack, 300 attack for each monster it points to. Pretty crazy. And then we got one Gouki, the Giant Ogre. It's just because he's big. This can be anything. This could be Solid Ogre. This card can negate monster effects, which is why I went with it, but it's not often summoned. Then we've got the big boy himself, 3 copies of Gouki, the Power Load Ogre. This card is unaffected by other card effects. It gets 200 attack per link rating of all other link monsters on the field, and you could tribute another Gouki monster, Gouki link monster, to pop cards equal to its link rating. The card is nuts. The fact that it's unaffected means that things like Skill Drain and Mystic Mine don't negate their effects. So its effect is, if I have 2 Gouki the Power Load Ogres and a Mystic Mine, my opponent can only summon twice, and then they lose monster effects. And I don't care because my cards are unaffected by it. Then we've got the Code Breaker package, which is 1 Virus Swordsman and 1 Virus Berserker. Virus Berserker is able to blow up cards on the opponent's field, so you could blow up 3 cards on your opponent's field when you use the combo, which is nuts. And Virus Swordsman summons 0 day from the deck. And then lastly, for your generics, we've got 1 Link Karibo, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Nightmare Unicorn. They're just generic cards that are able to help you out in simplified game states. Link Karibo, you can use it if you run out of Gouki cards to be able to boost Power Load Ogre by another 200 if you need it to get over a monster. Phoenix to blow a back row, and Unicorn to spin whatever is ailing you. And that does it for the extra. Now let's get into the side deck. So we've got 2 copies of DD Crow and 2 copies of Skullmeister. You could take out Saravis, whatever. Saravis and a Junk Forward, and you'd be able to play these 4 cards instead. It is completely up to player preference. That would be the only change that I would make, potentially. This gives you hand traps in the main deck. I like Saravis simply in case I need his ult to go off. So that does it for the monsters of the side deck. Let's go into the spells. And we're running 3 Eagle Booster. This is to protect his ult. 3 Forbidden Chalice. This is to play around VFD. And 1 Magical Midbreaker Field. So when you're going first, these are cards that are definitely coming in. Going second, this is a card that's definitely going in. And now, the final card. The final cards of the side deck are going to be 2 copies of Dimensional Barrier, 2 copies of Crackdown. Crackdown, being able to steal your opponent's monsters is just crazy good. And Dimensional Barrier is really good against all the top decks right now. If you're playing against Drytron, you can just say no, you can't Ritual Summon. If you're playing against Virtual World, you just say no Synchro Summoning. If you're playing against Eldritch or Zodiac, no Exceed Summoning. It locks things down. And then Crackdown, being able to steal your opponent's cards, is just always good. And that is going to do it for Budget Gouki. Now, I promised you a combo, so give me a second, I'll get it set up, and then I will walk you guys through a very basic combo for Gouki. Alright, it's combo time. So, we're going to say you have just Suprex and Twist Cobra, mostly because they're the prettiest to look at. So we're going to start with Suprex. You'll normal summon Suprex and special summon Twist Cobra. You'll link these 2 away to make his ult. On that, you're able to get 3 searches. So off of his ult, we will go 1, 2, 3, and in reverse order, we will go Headbat, Rematch, Rescorpio. So now you've got 3 cards in hand. Rescorpio can't be summoned because it was off of his ult. You use his ult's other effect to dump your Divine Sword Phoenix Blade to the graveyard to be able to summon out Gouki Guts. You'll pitch Rescorpio to summon Headbat, and then you'll link these 4 away into a Power Load Ogre. You'll get your 2 searches, which in this instance, you are definitely going to want to add Suprex and a Rematch. Typically, those are the 2 I go for. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to play a Rematch to be able to bring back 2 of them. Doesn't matter which 2, it just can't be Rescorpio. you'll link these two away into a Codebreaker Virus Swordsman. Virus Swordsman will summon out Zero Day for you. You'll link these two away into a Virus Berserker, which will bring back out both of them, the Virus Swordsman and the Zero Day. And in this moment, you can, if you're going second, you can pop back row with Berserker. You're going to link these two away into a second copy of Power Load Ogre. And that is the combo. You are ending on double Power Load Ogres that are both 4,000 and unaffected by other card effects. Really important. And that means that you've got a ton, a literal ton of cards that just, if you see them, you don't care. And that's a 2-card combo that ends with still 5 cards in hand. You have all these cards over here that just don't matter. You could just go, okay, well now I've got 3 monsters on the field, I can activate Mystic Mine. Now my opponent is locked into a certain number of monsters that they can summon, but it doesn't do anything to him, I just can't attack with them. No big deal, I can't perform the action. I have 3 monsters on the field, I could set Needle Sealing and let my opponent just start to go off and then blow up the field. I have Torrential Tribute, I'll blow up the field, but these guys don't matter. I can Dimension Ground and just banish everything so it stops their turn. I can Skill Drain, they don't have monster effects, but I do. Just the wild way you're able to do things with this deck off of 2 cards is incredible. If you had 1 extender, this field, and you know, the amazing part here is, hold on, I didn't even do the best part. You can banish 2. We'll just do this one and a Guts for no reason other than to do it. You've actually ended with essentially 6 cards in hand because you're able to get this Divine Sword back. So you did all this and you have 6 cards in hand. The insanity of being able to do this kind of stuff to your opponent is amazing. I hope you guys enjoyed. Alright. I hope you enjoyed this Gouki deck profile. If you did, make sure to subscribe, like, leave a comment, tell me what you guys think of this deck profile, this deck list, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And until next time, lads, good fun, have luck.